Over 10 million tons of butter are consumed worldwide each year. But how does fresh cow's milk transform into the rich, creamy butter we love? In this video, we'll take you inside the fascinating world of butter production, from separating cream to churning and packaging. Butter may have been discovered by accident when cream was stirred too much, possibly as far back as 10,000 years ago. However, it wasn't until the Industrial Revolution that butter became widely available in households. The ancient Romans used it as a beauty treatment and to heal burns. In earlier times, people made butter by shaking milk in animal skin bags or hollow logs. Then, in 1878, Carl Gustav Patrick invented the mechanical cream separator, making large-scale butter production possible. Today, half of the 570,000 cows on Danish dairy farms provide milk for butter production. High-quality butter comes from cows that graze on fresh pasture. Since butter is made exclusively from cream, the first step in production is separating the cream from the milk. The world's largest butter company produces 154 tons of butter every day. The process begins when a tanker truck delivers about 30,000 liters of fresh cow's milk to the dairy. When the milk arrives at the factory, it undergoes strict laboratory testing. Workers check its color and smell for consistency before pumping it through vacuum-sealed hoses into a separator. This machine spins rapidly, using centrifugal force to separate the milk fat from the liquid. The fat, known as cream, collects in the center while the skimmed milk moves outward. The cream, which is thick and whitish with about 38% fat, is the key ingredient in butter. Some of it is also used to produce lower-fat milk alternatives. The less fat, the thinner and more fluid the milk. The centrifuge spins at 1,500 revolutions per minute, ensuring efficient separation. The cream and skimmed milk exit through separate pipes, and the fresh cream is then transported in tankers to the butter factory. Each day, tankers carrying 25,000 to 30,000 liters of cream arrive at the factory. To eliminate harmful bacteria, the cream is heated to 92 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds, a process known as pasteurization. It is then transferred to bulk tanks, where mixers keep it well blended to ensure consistent quality year-round. However, the composition of cream changes with the seasons. In winter, cows graze on fresh grass, which leads to softer butter due to higher unsaturated fat. In summer, when fresh grass is scarce, the butter becomes firmer due to increased saturated fat. To maintain a uniform texture, the cream undergoes a two-stage process called maturation. First, the cream is heated in tanks to 15 to 20 degrees Celsius, then pumped into a 150-ton tank and slowly cooled to 9 degrees Celsius. This process alters the fat crystals, ensuring a consistent texture year-round. After maturing overnight, an operator checks the pH and flavor. If the cream is too acidic, it means it's spoiling, and the entire batch must be discarded. At this stage, the cream is still a liquid. It needs to be churned to become butter. After 24 hours of pasteurization and maturation, workers transfer the cream to a machine called a churn. First, they clean the churn by filling it with water mixed with iodine to kill any germs from the previous batch. It spins for about 5 minutes before being rinsed with water. Next, they pour in 1,500 liters of cream, filling the churn halfway. Leaving space is essential, as air released during churning must escape through 2 vents. The churn spins at 1,000 revolutions per minute and can hold about a ton of butter. Churning breaks down the fragile membranes surrounding fat droplets in the cream, allowing the fat to clump together into soft, buttery pieces, known as popcorn. Every 5 minutes, an operator pauses the mixer to release excess air. Once no more air escapes, the valve is closed and churning resumes. After 30 minutes of churning the fat molecules in the cream clump, together forming creamy pieces. These clumps remain in the churn while the liquid known as buttermilk drains out and is later used to make cream cheese. Each hour, 12 tons of buttermilk are removed, leaving behind only the butter clumps or popcorn. At this stage, 2 final ingredients are added. An operator seasons the butter with 14 kilos of salt and a lactic acid culture. The bacteria in the culture ferment the lactose-producing lactic acid and natural aromatic compounds. This gives the butter its slightly tangy taste and familiar aroma. During churning, air bubbles get trapped in the butter, which can cause oxidation and an unpleasant metallic taste. To prevent this, the worker seals the mixer's window with a rubber ring and metal clamp, maintaining stable air pressure inside. The butter is then kneaded to blend the ingredients before being sent to a vacuum chamber, where any remaining air is removed. Now the butter is ready. A worker transfers about 30 kilos of it into a mill, which shapes and packages it. The machine presses the butter into a block-shaped injector, which deposits it into open containers. The packaging paper has an aluminum outer coating to block light, preserving the butter's quality. Each sheet of paper measures 26.5 centimeters by 19 centimeters. The factory operates 4 days a week, producing up to 230 packets of butter per minute. As we continue, this factory process, one of the most popular treats in Asia, fish-shaped cakes. It all begins with batter being poured into fish-shaped molds on a hot machine. The molds close, and the cakes bake until golden brown. Some cakes are filled with sweet fillings like chocolate, custard, or red bean paste. After baking, the cakes move along a conveyor belt to cool down. Workers or machines check each cake to ensure it is well cooked and has the right shape. Cakes that pass the quality check go to the packaging area. In packaging, machines carefully wrap each cake in plastic or place them in boxes. Labels with the product name and ingredients are added. Finally, the packaged cakes are placed in cartons and sent to stores. And here we have a beverage factory. Cans are filled and packaged through a systematic process to ensure quality and freshness. Empty aluminum cans are cleaned and sterilized to remove any dust or impurities. They move along a conveyor belt to the filling station where machines pour in the drink. The amount of liquid is carefully measured to avoid spills or underfilling. Next, the cans are sealed with airtight lids to keep the drink fresh and prevent leaks. They then pass through a quality control check where machines or workers inspect them for any defects. After sealing, the cans move to the packaging stage. Expiration date are added. The cans are then packed into cartons or plastic-wrapped packs for easy transport. Finally, the packaged beverages are loaded onto trucks and sent to stores, ensuring they reach customers in perfect condition. In this factory, stick-shaped cookies go through a detailed process to become a delicious treat with chocolate and peanuts. The process begins with pre-baked cookie sticks, moved along a conveyor belt to the dipping station, where machines coat one end with melted chocolate. Next, peanut ranches are added on top of the chocolate coating, giving the cookies a crunchy texture and extra flavor. After the peanuts are added, the cookies are dipped in chocolate again to cover the peanut ranches. This double coating helps keep the peanuts in place and gives the cookies a smooth finish. The cookies are then moved to a cooling station where they are left to cool down, allowing the chocolate to harden. Once cooled, the cookies go through a quality check. If they pass, they are sent to the packaging stage. The cookies are wrapped in plastic or placed in boxes, labeled and then packed into cartons to be sent to stores for customers to enjoy. And here we have an ice cream sandwich factory. In the assembly line, the ice cream is dispensed onto one cookie layer using automated machinery. Another cookie is placed on top, forming the sandwich. The sandwiches are then passed through a pressing machine to ensure uniform size and shape. Next, the sandwiches are flash frozen to maintain their structure and texture. Finally, they are individually wrapped, boxed, and stored in cold storage. And here we have an inside look at how canned crabs are made in a factory. Factories use a careful process to ensure they are fresh and safe to eat. First, fresh crabs are cleaned and cooked to bring out their flavor. Cooking the crabs before canning helps preserve their taste and texture. Once cooked, the crab meat is carefully removed from the shells by skilled workers or machines. The crab meat is then inspected for quality and cleaned again to remove any remaining shell pieces. Next, the meat is weighed and placed into cans. A small amount of water or brine is added to keep the crab moist and flavorful. The cans are sealed tightly to lock in freshness and prevent contamination. Finally, the cans are labeled, packed into boxes, and sent to stores. Factories produce thousands of canned crabs every day, making it easy for people to enjoy this delicious seafood anytime. At the heart of this cookie-making process, this ingenious machine plays a key role in making sure each sandwich cookie is perfectly assembled. The bottom half are lined up, ready to be filled with a special filling machine, evenly distributes a luscious layer of cream. This step happens with high accuracy, ensuring the perfect amount of filling for each one. This machine takes the top cookie and automatically places it onto the cream-covered bottom ones with flawless precision. It works at high speed, assembling thousands of units per minute, and designed to handle the pressure of mass production while maintaining consistency. As the top are carefully placed, the sandwich cookies are completed, each one perfectly aligned and sealed thanks to the precise work of this capper. Once assembled, the cookies are quickly packaged and ready for distribution, ensuring they maintain their freshness and quality from the factory to your favorite grocery store. Advanced machines process hundreds of eggs per minute, expertly separating the yolks from the whites with precision. Right here, we have a marshmallow factory where these fluffy, sweet treats are made. The process begins by mixing simple ingredients like sugar, water, and gelatin, which gives marshmallows their soft and bouncy texture. The mixture is heated and whipped until it becomes light and airy like a thick foam. This fluffy mixture is then poured into molds or onto large trays to set. Once cooled and firm, the marshmallow is cut into small, bite-sized pieces. To prevent sticking, the pieces are often dusted with powdered sugar or cornstarch. For flavored or colored marshmallows, Ingredients like vanilla or food coloring are added during mixing. Finally, the marshmallows are packaged into plastic bags or boxes, ready to be enjoyed. Whether eaten on their own, in hot chocolate, or roasted over a fire, factory-made marshmallows are always soft, sweet, and delightful. As we continue exploring how food is made, let's take a look at how mashed potatoes are made in a factory. The process begins with fresh potatoes delivered to the factory. They are thoroughly washed and peeled to remove dirt and skins. Next, the potatoes are cut into smaller pieces and sent to large steam cookers, where they are cooked until soft. Once cooked, the potatoes go through mashers and mixers, where butter, milk, salt, and other seasonings are added. This creates a smooth and creamy texture. Some factories may also use additional ingredients to make instant mashed potatoes, which can be rehydrated with water. After mixing, the mashed potatoes are cooled and packed into containers, pouches, or frozen packs to keep them fresh. Thanks to this process, people can enjoy mashed potatoes quickly and easily at home. Who can resist a delicious ice cream bar covered in chocolate? The process of making it begins with the ice cream base. High-quality ingredients like milk, cream, sugar, and flavorings are mixed together in large tanks. Once the base is ready, it's poured into specially shaped molds, usually in the form of bars. These molds then enter a blast freezer where they're quickly frozen to a solid state. Rapid freezing is crucial to prevent ice crystals from forming, keeping the ice cream smooth and creamy. After the ice cream bars have reached a semi-solid state, sticks are inserted into each one. Robotic arms carefully place the sticks at just the right angle, so they're stable for dipping and handling. The bars are then fully frozen, making them ready for the next stage. Now comes the most exciting part, the chocolate coating. Each ice cream bar is dipped into melted chocolate, which is kept at the perfect temperature to achieve a smooth coating. The chocolate quickly hardens as it hits the cold ice cream, creating a crisp shell that locks in the creamy center. Once coated, the bars move down a conveyor to the wrapping station. Each bar is individually wrapped in airtight packaging to keep it fresh. Finally, the bars go through a quality control check, where inspectors ensure each one is perfect in size, shape, and appearance. Only after passing this inspection are the bars packed into boxes for distribution. As we continue our journey into food production, let's explore how cow sausages are made in a factory. Factories use a step-by-step process to make them tasty and safe to eat. First, fresh cow meat is cleaned and ground into fine pieces. Spices, salt, and other flavorings are mixed into the meat to give the sausages their delicious taste. The seasoned meat is then stuffed into casings, which are thin tubes made from natural or synthetic materials. These casings hold the meat together and give the sausages their classic shape. Once stuffed, the sausages are linked into portions and cooked in ovens or smokehouses to enhance their flavor and ensure they are fully cooked. After cooking, the sausages are cooled and inspected for quality. They are then packaged in plastic wraps or vacuum-sealed bags to keep them fresh. Finally, the sausages are boxed and sent to stores, ready to be enjoyed in meals or on the grill. And here we have an inside look at how cupcakes are made in a factory. First, ingredients like flour, sugar, eggs, and butter are mixed in large machines to create the batter. The batter is then poured into cupcake molds on a conveyor belt. The molds move through an oven where the cupcakes are baked until they are fluffy and golden. After baking, the cupcakes cool on the conveyor belt. Once cooled, they move to a decorating station. Here, machines or workers add frosting, sprinkles, or other toppings to make them look and taste great. Factories make thousands of cupcakes every day, all while keeping them tasty and safe to eat. The cupcakes are then checked for quality to make sure they meet standards. Finally, the cupcakes are wrapped or placed in boxes to keep them fresh. They are packed into larger boxes and sent to stores or bakeries for people to enjoy. In large factories, millions of chickens are processed each day to meet consumer demand. Upon arrival, chickens are humanely stunned to ensure they do not feel pain before being quickly slaughtered. Their feathers are then removed using a hot water bath, followed by a picker machine with rotating rubber fingers that pluck the feathers. Next, the chickens are thoroughly washed with high-pressure water and food-safe solutions to remove dirt and bacteria. Their internal cavities are also flushed with water to eliminate blood and tissue. The feet are removed first, followed by the internal organs, which are carefully extracted using a specialized cutting tool and suction system. Each chicken is inspected by plant workers for diseases or defects. Only a small percentage are rejected. The rest move through an automated system that precisely cuts and separates them into parts like breasts, drumsticks, and thighs, which are then packaged and delivered fresh or frozen to stores. As we continue, let's take a closer look at canned sardines. This popular and convenient food item is produced in factories through a simple yet fascinating process. It starts with fresh sardines, which are small, oily fish. The fish are first cleaned with their heads and tails removed, and then washed thoroughly. After cleaning, they are cooked, usually by steaming or frying to prepare them for canning. Once cooked, the sardines are placed into cans, often with oil, water, or sauce added for flavor and preservation. The cans are sealed tightly to keep the fish fresh and safe. They are then heated again to eliminate bacteria and ensure long shelf life. Finally, the cans are labeled, packed, and shipped to stores. Canned sardines are not only convenient but also nutritious, offering a good source of protein and healthy fats. And they can be stored for months without refrigeration. Every great jam begins with one key ingredient: fresh and ripe strawberries. But before these berries become a sweet spread, they first need to be carefully harvested. Strawberry plants are typically hand-picked to ensure the berries remain in perfect condition for jam production. Each berry is inspected to ensure only the best are selected, as high-quality fruit is essential for making the finest jam. Once picked, the strawberries are quickly transported to the factory where the process begins. Trucks loaded with strawberries arrive at the factory daily, ensuring a constant supply of fresh fruit. Upon arrival, the strawberries are immediately inspected for quality. Only the best, ripest strawberries make it past this point, as quality control is critical to producing a delicious jam. The first step inside the factory is washing the strawberries. Automated systems use high-pressure water jets to wash the fruit, removing any dirt, pesticides, or other contaminants. After washing, the strawberries pass through a sorting machine. Here, they are graded by size and ripeness. Any berries that don't meet the factory's standards are removed, leaving only the best strawberries to move on to the next step. Next, the strawberries are prepared for cooking. Machines automatically hull the berries, removing the green tops, and then slice them into smaller pieces. This ensures that the strawberries cook evenly during the jam-making process. The prepared fruit is then moved into large vats ready for the next stage. The key ingredients in strawberry jam are, of course, strawberries, sugar, and pectin. In this step, the sliced strawberries are placed into large industrial cookers. Sugar is added in specific amounts to not only sweeten the mixture, but also to act as a natural preservative. Pectin, a naturally occurring thickening agent, is then added. This helps the jam achieve its characteristic texture, allowing it to set properly. The mixture is slowly heated, allowing the strawberries to release their juices and break down. As the fruit cooks, it begins to blend with the sugar and pectin, creating the base of the jam. This stage requires precision. The temperature and cooking time are closely monitored to ensure the jam thickens just right, without burning or losing flavor. While the jam is cooking, regular quality checks are carried out. Factory workers take samples from the vats to test the jam's consistency, sweetness, and flavor. If the jam isn't thick enough, additional pectin may be added to achieve the right texture. Meanwhile, the glass jars that will hold the jam are being prepared. Sterilization is a critical step to ensure that the jam remains fresh for a long time. The jars are heated to high temperatures in large ovens, which kill any bacteria or germs that may be present. This ensures the jam stays uncontaminated and has a longer shelf life. Once the jam reaches the perfect consistency and the jars are sterilized, it's time to fill them. This step is fully automated. The jam is still hot when it's poured into the jars, which helps create a tight seal when the lids are added. The filling machines are extremely precise, ensuring that each jar gets the exact right amount of jam. Immediately after filling, the jars are sealed with metal lids. These lids form a vacuum seal as the jam cools, locking in freshness. Here, each jar receives its label, complete with details like the flavor, brand, and expiration date. Once labeled, the jars are ready for packaging. With the jam packed and sealed, the final step is packaging. The jars are packed into boxes and prepared for shipment. Whether destined for local supermarkets or international markets, these jars of jam are now ready to be distributed and enjoyed by customers around the world. As we continue to seek convenient and delicious seafood options, canned shrimp has become a favorite choice for many. Factories use advanced methods to ensure the shrimp stays fresh, safe, and full of flavor. First, fresh shrimp are carefully cleaned, peeled, and cooked. Thanks to modern technology, factories produce thousands of canned shrimp daily, making it easy for people to enjoy seafood anytime, anywhere. Machines sort them by size before they move to the canning stage. The shrimp are placed into cans, and a special liquid, such as brine or sauce, is added to keep them moist and tasty. Next, the cans are sealed tightly to prevent air from getting in. After cooling, each can is checked to ensure it meets quality and safety standards. Finally, The cans are labeled and packed into boxes for distribution. Next up, let's explore the process of making apple juice in factory. The journey begins with selecting fresh and high-quality apples. These apples are washed thoroughly to remove dirt and impurities. After washing, they are crushed and pressed to extract the juice. The extracted juice is then filtered to remove any solid pieces like seeds or pulp. To improve its taste and shelf life, the juice is pasteurized by heating it to a high temperature for a short time. This process kills bacteria while keeping the juice fresh. After pasteurization, the juice is cooled and stored in large tanks. Before packaging, it goes through a final quality check to ensure it meets safety and taste standards. Finally, the juice is poured into bottles, cartons, or cans, sealed and labeled. The packaged apple juice is then ready to be shipped to stores. Here at the Grun Fish Factory, you'll find state-of-the-art facilities that were recently renovated with new advanced equipment. One highlight is the MSC 55MA slicer, which can cut salmon into slices between 2 to 60 millimeters thick at precise angles ranging from 10 degrees to 70 degrees. Equally impressive is the deboning system, which works at an incredible speed of up to 50 fillets per minute, with an accuracy of just 0.2 millimeters. From the ocean to the can, the process of making canned tuna involves careful handling, cooking, and preservation to deliver a delicious and safe product to consumers. It all starts at sea, where fishing vessels are equipped with modern technologies to sustainably catch tuna. Once the tuna is caught, it's stored in temperature-controlled holds to keep it fresh during transportation to the factory. Upon arrival at the factory, the tuna is immediately unloaded and sorted based on size and species. This ensures that each batch of canned tuna meets specific quality standards. Next, the tuna is cleaned to remove any scales or impurities. They are thoroughly washed to prepare them for the next stages of production. Once cleaned, the whole tuna is placed into steam chambers or large ovens to be pre-cooked. This step helps to separate the meat from the bones and makes it easier to process. The tuna is cooked at a specific temperature and time to ensure that the meat remains tender while killing any harmful bacteria. After cooking, it's removed from the ovens and cooled down. Factory workers then begin the process of deboning and filleting the fish. This step is crucial for ensuring the tuna is free from bones, skin, or any undesirable parts. Next, the filleted tuna is portioned and placed into cans. Depending on the variety, it may be packed in water, oil, or brine to enhance flavor and shelf life. The liquid not only preserves the tuna, but also keeps it moist and flavorful for consumers. Once the tuna and liquid are packed into cans where they are sealed to lock in freshness. They are then subjected to a high-temperature sterilization process to ensure they are free from bacteria and have a long shelf life. This step is critical for food safety and allows canned tuna to be stored for months without refrigeration. After the sterilization process, the cans are cooled and sent down the line for labeling. Each can is labeled with important information like the type of tuna ingredients and expiration date. Finally, the labeled cans are packed into boxes and prepared for shipment to supermarkets and stores around the world. Cutting meat is far more challenging than it appears. For years, factory workers handled this task manually, often risking injuries. Automated machines, like those designed by S Company from New Zealand, have revolutionized this process. Their systems use specialized disc blades that move and cut carcasses with precision, eliminating the need for manual handling. Automation ensures efficiency, consistency, and high standards. Advanced automation technology plays a crucial role in processing lambs safely and effectively. This technology reduces the risk of injury significantly. Automated equipment handling these high-speed cuts, human hands are far from harm's way, making the workplace safer and more efficient. As we continue, let's take a look at orange juice production in factory. The process starts with selecting fresh oranges. These oranges are washed thoroughly to remove any dirt or chemicals. Next, they go through machines that squeeze out the juice, separating it from the peel and seeds. The juice is then filtered to remove any pulp if needed. To keep the juice fresh, it is pasteurized by heating it quickly and then cooling it down. After that, the juice is packed into bottles or cartons, sealed and stored in cold conditions before being sent to stores. Orange juice factories follow strict quality checks to ensure the juice is safe and tasty for everyone. Each year, millions of sardines are caught and processed into canned products to meet global demand. In 2024, the canned sardine market was valued at around $9 billion. In this video, we'll explore how millions of sardines are caught and processed in factory. Sardine fishing starts at the harbor, with the best time to catch them being at dusk, when sardines follow their shoals to the surface. Fishermen set out to sea in boats, searching for schools of sardines that gather in coastal waters. In the past, fishermen relied on seagulls and surface bubbles as clues to locate the fish. Today, modern technology has revolutionized the process. Boats are equipped with sonar devices that emit audio signals into the water. These signals bounce back if they detect something beneath the boat, helping fishermen locate sardines with greater accuracy and efficiency. When fishermen discover a school of sardines, they must act quickly to prevent the fish from escaping. The boat accelerates, releasing the net at high speed while sailing in a circle, a simple but effective method to trap the fish. Once the captain is confident the sardines are surrounded, a winch tightens the rope, closing the net and capturing hundreds of sardines. However, the net is often too heavy to lift onto the boat all at once, so smaller nets are used to transfer the sardines by hand. This process only takes a few minutes. The next step is to transport the fish to shore while they are still fresh. Meeting the global demand for canned sardines requires industrial-scale operations. Once at the port, the ships are unloaded and the sardines are transferred to refrigerated trucks, which transport them to fish processing plants. At the canning plant, nearly 1 million sardines are processed each day, ensuring a steady supply to meet worldwide demand. Packaging fish on such a large scale requires modern machinery and a team of about 800 people. Sardines arrive at the factory just a few hours after being caught to ensure maximum freshness. Unloading happens quickly because the factory aims to process the fish within 5 hours to deliver the highest quality to consumers. The process begins with the freshly caught sardines being placed in a vat of ice water to keep them fresh. The temperature of the fish is maintained below a specific level to preserve their quality. Next, the sardines are moved along a conveyor belt filled with fresh water for further processing. Coarse salt is added to improve their texture and consistency. workers then clean the fish by rinsing them with seawater before placing them into cans. The cans, open at the bottom and facing upward, travel along a conveyor belt to a workstation. Here, they are filled manually to minimize the risk of foreign objects entering the cans. Workers ensure each can contains the right amount of sardines. Within minutes, the fish are already canned. To guarantee the correct weight, each can is individually weighed, and adjustments are made if necessary. Once filled, the open cans move to the cooking phase. Since the sardines are canned raw, they must be cooked to prevent spoilage before reaching the consumer. The cans themselves act as cooking vessels. They are placed into giant ovens where they are steamed at 100 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. After cooking, a worker turns the cans over and places them onto another conveyor belt. At this stage, the batch moves on to heavy machinery for the next steps in production. The cooked sardines are carefully arranged in a single row and dipped in olive oil. The cans are filled to capacity, and any excess oil is removed. A machine then places and seals the lids under pressure, creating a vacuum-packed seal. Although the cans are sealed and filled, they are still covered in oil. To address this, they are cleaned and sterilized. The cans pass through a machine that washes them with 90 degrees Celsius water, leaving them spotless. Next, the cans are sterilized in autoclaves, using steam at 110 degrees Celsius for an hour and a half to eliminate any microorganisms. Once sterilized, the cans are packaged and ready to be shipped worldwide. From a sweet mixture to those familiar treats, the process starts with a candy base typically made from starch molasses or invert sugar syrup. This base gives the candy its sweetness and structure. To this base, other ingredients are added, including water, sugar, coloring, and flavoring. Each component is carefully measured to ensure consistent taste and texture. Once all ingredients are combined, the mixture is heated and brought to a boil. This boiling step is crucial as it thickens the mixture to the ideal consistency for hard candy. The mixture must reach a specific concentration to give the candy its signature hardness. This part of the process requires precise temperature control, and factory machinery carefully monitors the heat to avoid overcooking or burning. After boiling, the hot candy mixture is carefully cooled to around 85 degrees Celsius. Cooling at this temperature makes the candy soft enough to be shaped, but firm enough to hold together. Some factories use molds to give the candy its specific form, while others cut it into the desired shape as it passes through rollers. Once shaped, the candies need to cool down completely. They are gradually brought to room temperature to prevent any cracking or stickiness. This cooling process is key to setting the candy's final hardness, ensuring it's ready for packaging and long-lasting shelf life. The cooled candies move to the packaging station where they're wrapped individually or in batches. Automated systems quickly wrap each piece, sealing in freshness and keeping them hygienic. Once packaged, the candies are boxed up and sent to warehouses ready to be distributed to stores nationwide.